Y'all ready to get crushed?
You said he wasn't going to win either, so I don't want to hear this shit.
We're starting the show.
Convenient.
We back. It's the high differential. We got a lot to talk about. That's the 6-6 Neil. The 5-6 Matt is back with us because we got a lot to talk about with Golden Tempo and the Belmont. I'm the 410 Nick. Before we get into that and to get in the NBA, we'll talk World Cup. What else we got? We got the Brendan Sorsby decision, little NHL. There's just a lot going on. But to remember to follow the high differential on whatever social platform you use, and to follow us on YouTube or your podcast listening device, Spotify, Apple, however you do it. But to start the show, a lot of people have been telling us to eat crow. And look, I tossed this horse too. I didn't go as far as you guys did. But Golden Tempo did it again on Saturday. Came from the back, went on the outside, not the further outside this time, but still the outside, and won the Belmont after winning the Derby. Y'all both said he'd never win again. Let's hear your thoughts.
I mean, I'm on record. I texted you as soon as it happened that I publicly apologized. I apologized to Cherie DeVoe and Golden Tempo, and I didn't think the horse had another one of these in him, and he proved me wrong. So I was wrong. Congratulations to Golden Tempo. Do I think he's one of the greatest horses of all time? Still, no, I don't. But he is good enough to win 2 Triple Crown races, and hopefully he'll run in the Breeders' Cup Classic. I saw he's on track to run the Travers and something else. So
maybe the Dandy.
He'll have a couple races, maybe Jim Dandy. So maybe he'll have a couple races before that Classic and continue to keep proving me wrong. But nope, I was wrong. Golden Tempo was better than I expected him to be. So congratulations to both Golden Tempo and Cherie in their ownership group.
Yeah, I've got to apologize too. I was on the never going to win a stakes race again. Didn't think it was going to set up, especially after watching the first 3 days of racing where it was all dirt races were speed inside rail. So Golden Tempo being the 9 horse and a closer just wasn't up against the track bias. But somehow the pace fell apart again and it found its way into the winner's circle. And the more I thought about it, I'm not upset at Golden Tempo. I'm upset at the other horses. Like,
Thank you.
This crop of 3-year-olds, it just wasn't good enough. And I've got some stats to back it up. Again, a lot of this has to do with timing and just luckiness or whatever. Golden Tempo, 95 buyer in the Derby, 98 buyer in Belmont. The year before, your second place finisher, Journalism, 102 in the Derby and 108 in the Belmont, and neither of those won. So sometimes you get lucky. It depends on what the 3-year-old crop is that you're running against. But it makes me wonder, like, the Puma, if the Puma won, if it had the Puma raced, what would the Puma look like? Paladin was one of the bigger horses going in, but he scratched out of the Derby. What would that have looked like? It's a lot of what ifs, but I'm upset at the 3-year-old crop of the horses that did run and not Golden Tempo. Congrats, Golden Tempo.
Yeah, Matt's completely right. This was a point I wanted to make. Is the 3-year-old crop is that bad? Like, what was this? Like, what was this year? Like, I don't think, as Matt said, they're not that good. This Belmont was 3 seconds slower than last year's. Like, if any of the 3-year-olds, majority of the 3-year-olds ran from last year in this race, he's not winning. So, is he a good horse? Sure, whatever. But I think a lot of these horses are just not up to the standard of what the 3-year-old crops have been in the past.
Well, to follow up on Matt's buyer, like, he had a 95 in the Derby, which was tied for the lowest figure in the modern era with Nyquist in 2016. His 98 in the Belmont, I think, was the 3rd slowest. Datara had a 95 in 2008. So, yeah, I mean, the crop definitely has something to do with this. But I mean, still, we have to give Golden Tempo credit, and I think you all have done that. My thing, you talked about the way the races were going all weekend, and my money was on Commandment. But I just see Commandment that far back with Tempo, and I'm thinking, well, I mean, the way these races are going, neither one of these horses have a chance, because you just did not see very many horses on the dirt coming from the back and winning at Saratoga all weekend long. And the fact that both those horses were able to do that in a race where it was moderate pace, I mean, the splits were not, it wasn't even close to fast. It, it says something about those horses that they can close in a moderate pace, but maybe just none of these horses want the distance. Maybe that's what this is. Maybe that's what it is in the Derby too, because the splits in the Derby weren't super fast. They were faster than they were in the Belmont, but then it wasn't anywhere near blistering. And they were able to close on that. So maybe it's just the fact that Tempo is the only horse of this crop that embraces distance. And that's why it seems like, even though the pace isn't super fast, everybody's faltering at the end, but just because they don't go a mile and a quarter.
We talked about the lack of speed, when we went through the horse by horse. We talked about the lack of a pace setter and the lack of speed. Like Power Shift was the only one that we thought really that was going to get out there and, perhaps growth equity. And Power Shift did what we thought he would do. He set the pace, but he's not a good horse. He's not a he's going to get out there, but it's going to be slow. It was slow. It was what we thought it was going to be. And there's no excuse for any of these other horses. Not one. I mean, Renegade had it right down the middle of the track. He had his chance. We thought Chief Wallaby at one point was going to win this thing. He had his chance. He had a clear lane down the stretch as well. And Growth Equity, who was one of the unknown horses in this race, for a while I thought he was going to win it. He had a great trip.
Yeah, I was nervous after cussing you out.
Yeah,
like having him in yours and having Tempo out. I was nervous that horse was going to win because it looked like he had a chance.
Yeah, like there was just no excuse for any of these horses to not win. And the only one that I think might have a small excuse, but we didn't think he was going to be that far back, is Commandment. I don't know why he was that far back, but Golden Tempo shoved him way out wide. I mean, way, way out wide on that turn, and that caused him to lose a lot of ground. So, if he can keep that on the inside of Golden Tempo, or even, just not get shoved that far out, I think Commandment probably wins the race, because I think he's, even to this day, I think he's still a better horse.
Yeah.
But Golden Tempo shoved him out wide. That, I think, wasted a lot of his energy to where he couldn't keep up in the final couple strides.
Yeah, I was surprised that Commandment was that far back. I don't know if that was a ride decision or just the way it shook out, because if Commandment's back, like honestly, Commandment and Renegade probably should have been switched to where they were, because Renegade was a little bit closer up to the pace and actually had like you said, Neil, pretty much straight lane down the final stretch and just didn't have enough juice. If Commandment was up higher near the front pack, might have been better off down the end, but who knows? Nobody knows.
Wasn't he on his fourth different jockey, Commandment?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, how do you,
Fourth in a row.
like this poor horse, like he's getting rid by 4 different guys doing 4 different things to him. Like,
It's a really good point.
I don't know. Like, there's
I
just no, and the one jockey that does have the consistency was Golden Tempo, with Jose Ortiz ridden the entire way. So that horse knows what's expected of him, and he knows what the ride's going to be like. And Commandment's being ridden 4 different ways. Like, I don't know.
And that could have been the difference. I mean, the Derby and the Belmont rides by Jose Ortiz were perfection. Absolute perfection. And knowing your horse. And it's a big reason why they won. And look, this horse went off as the 4th best odds, which for a Derby horse is not normal. He was the highest priced Derby winner in his next start since Mind That Bird in 2009. And he's the highest priced winner in the next start to win since Charismatic in 1999. So we weren't the only people that weren't picking this horse. And look, we got crushed all over social media. And look, it was warranted. It was warranted. Your all's take that he would never win again, and the fact that he goes out the next race and wins the damn Belmont, it's warranted. And you would agree with that, right?
I just overestimated all the other horses, I guess, but I would agree. I agree. Yeah.
It's not on Tempo. It's the other horses in my mind for this race. Now, if he goes out and dominates another race, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Tempo. It's just the horses that were in this race did not. I mean, you said it. Power Shift had a chance if it wanted to. It was out front, speed track. But, I don't know if it had enough juice. You had Growth Equity.
Power Shift is the Taj Mahal of this race.
Yeah.
Fair.
It's the Taj Mahal Preakness that's Power Shift in the Belmont.
Chief Wallaby coming around the final turn was up front. I thought it was the Chiefs to lose. I was like, here we go, Chief. have at it. Then Renegade comes up. I'm like, all right, Renegade, have at it. And they just didn't want to take it.
No, and look, like I said, like I think the one person that I saw took Golden Tempo on, and there might have been more, but Derek Jeter on the MLB on Fox pregame show picks Golden Tempo. And and look, there might, like I said, there might be other people, but I didn't see a ton of people taking this horse to win this race. And a lot of people thought he just got a perfect setup in the Derby, and he did. But he, I think ultimately he just proved that he's the only horse in this crop that will go a mile and a quarter.
Then he should have
And
run the Preakness. Should have run the Preakness.
well, I was going to get into that next, but what if this race is a mile and a half? He waxes this field. Like he extends they were all done. If this race is at Belmont Park and goes a mile and a half, he might have won by 12 lengths because they were all finished.
Yeah.
And before we get into the next round of questions about Tempo, I do want to read some of these comments because we did get some good ones. And I think we need to share them. Michael Stewart says, you pinheads need to study his form. He can run the final furlong in 9+ seconds after running a mile, plus against stakes horses, quarter cracks and all. He's a beast. And this guy says he's trained horses for years. So this dude's an expert.
So why didn't he win any prep races?
Why did he finish?
He did. I told you this last week. He was 3 for 5 before the Belmont, winning.
I'm talking about the big prep races, not the little crappy ones.
He won the Derby. Won the Derby.
I said the prep races,
You
Nick.
got to stop with this.
The prep races. He lost his prep races.
Entering the Belmont, he was 3 for 5, and his 2 non-wins were third place finishes.
Yeah,
Like,
can you? Who were the horses that beat him? Can you remind us that?
Yep.
One was Emerging Market, right? Or he beat Emerging Market, and you said Emerging Market sucks.
Where's he at?
I think he came in third in the Louisiana Derby, right? Am I making
he
that?
Finished third in the Louisiana Derby,
Yeah.
lost to Emerging Market and Pavlovian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, lost to Emerging Market and Pavlovian.
So, given that, and given the Derby, let's just play the Derby out. Coming off of the Derby, for our buddy who made the comment, what was his name? Michael?
Yeah, Michael Stewart.
Michael, appreciate your comment. Thanks for following the show.
Absolutely.
If you had the Louisiana Derby and how that finished, and the Kentucky Derby and how that finished, where I don't see the comparable. He won the Derby because they got a perfect trip. The speed collapsed. There's no speed in this race.
And that was the mindset. And I think in the end, what we realized is just maybe it wasn't the speed collapsing. It was just none of these horses want to go a mile and a quarter.
Yeah. No, I think that's what we underestimated. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
the thing that we should have saw in the Derby is that it wasn't super fast and he was still able to finish. So usually when you see a closer finishing like that, they're going 23, they're going 44, 45. They weren't doing that in the Derby. And he still finished on them that fast, like closing like that. And no handicappers came to the conclusion that, none of these horses just went the distance. But after seeing it again, I think that's what it is. He's the only horse that will go the distance.
I think there is one horse and one horse to blame to why Golden Tempo was not even thought about in this race. Oselli. Because Oselli bumped everything at the end of the Derby, so you had excuses for Wallaby, you had excuses for Commandment, and you figured they would show up. If Oselli doesn't bump them and they just don't get there, maybe we look at it like more of what you were saying, Nick, of like, well, the fractions really weren't that good, and Tempo still got there, so even if there's less speed, there are less horses, wouldn't the same factor in?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
look,
who was it, Michael or John, or who was it that thinks that Golden Tempo is the greatest ever, apparently?
Michael Stewart. And I've got some more here, too.
So hold on. So let's just go back. The Golden Tempo opened the Derby at 48-1. He was the third choice in the Belmont after winning the Derby. Like, the numbers don't support him being a good horse. They
Here's
don't.
a horse list. And look, it's easy to do this in hindsight. And look, when you put a prediction out there and it's wrong,
Yeah.
and then everybody sees it on social, you're going to get crushed. That's just the way social media works. Like, you got to be willing to deal with that
I
when
mean,
you're
there
putting
there are
predictions out.
upsets in sports. There's upsets in sports.
100%.
What are you gonna do about it?
100%. And look, just because I said I didn't agree that he would never win again doesn't make me right, because I had this horse nowhere near the trifecta. Like, I didn't think he had a chance. I just thought eventually he would win again because he's too talented of a horse. And I thought maybe if he didn't run as a 3-year-old, then he wouldn't win. But if he raced as a 4-year-old, then he would eventually win another race. That was
I just
basically
figured he didn't have
my
very
take.
many more races left in him, and they would, since he won the Derby, just put him out stud. But
You know, they got to
Uh,
race him.
Ray Donnelly says this is so good because these novices don't realize it wasn't a pace meltdown. It's the fact that most horses can't go 1.25 miles. Golden Tempo can cruise 1.5 miles, which is basically what we were just saying.
That's a fair
Chad
take.
Boston- Do what?
That's a fair take.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
100%. Chad Boston says, LOL, I've never seen any of these guys before, which is probably a good thing for you. Are they supposed to be horse racing experts? I don't think
Hell
any
no.
of the three of us would say to be horse racing experts.
We're not an
We
expert
love
on anything.
we love horse racing. Yeah, and I said that. If you listen to the whole pod, I said that in the last podcast. Have you guys ever seen a horse that improves with distance? Well, you have now. Maybe remember Golden Tempo moving forward. And that's another thing too. I think this horse is improving. His run in the Belmont was even better than it was in the Derby. And I think that's another thing, that they're 3-year-olds. Some of these horses are going to improve in a short amount of time. And I think Golden Tempo did that. And then the last one I'm going to share is Tom Burke. Please keep telling me your picks. This will help me handicap that race by canceling your picks, which honestly
This
is
is
probably,
no,
probably
because our picks in the other this race, like we had Commandment. He was set. I mean, Golden Tempo is the only one that we don't have like in the exact or the tries or anything like. He's the anomaly. We basically picked the Preakness correctly. We picked the Belmont correctly, except for Tempo. We picked the Derby correctly, except for Tempo.
well,
I
we
mean,
did that
Tempo is
twice.
just the one horse we keep doubting, and somehow he just keeps these horses. The 3-year-olds suck. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I just, and look, suck might be too strong of a word because a lot of these horses might be good milers. I just, for Triple
How
Crown,
are
you
the-
gotta go farther than that.
how are none of them good 1.25 mile horses? Like every year, every year 3-year-olds can run 1.25 miles, and just with this 1 year, only one horse can do it.
It's
Doesn't
either
make
that or
sense.
Golden Tempo's a great horse. Like, so
He's
which one are you
not.
going with?
He's not. He's not.
He's a very good horse. He's not a great horse.
You all do agree that he improved upon 5
Well,
weeks ago.
Yes,
Yes.
the buyer shows it. He ran 3 points better on the buyer. Like, yes, I agree. It was even slower of a pace, and it found a way to win. I am going to double down. He's not winning another stakes race. He is scheduled to run the Grade 2 Jim Dandy, which is 1.1 miles.
Pulling again?
Oh, yeah, I'm running it back. I'm running it back.
You're just going
Okay.
full villain here.
Well, here's the thing. The Jim Dandy's 1.8 miles. So it's a
Neil,
little bit
are you
shorter.
following?
I'm listening, but I'm not putting that out. I'm not doubting him again.
I mean,
So you're going, he's never going to win another stakes race after winning the Derby and the Belmont in
Yes.
back-to-back efforts.
all right. He is not going to win his next stakes race. And I need to see the field for the Travers. Because the
the
Travers
Dandy-
is 1.25 miles.
The Dandy is what? It's a grade 2 or a grade 3?
Jim Dandy's Grade 2, and it's 1.8 miles.
And
So
then the
it's
Travers are grade,
slightly shorter.
which could
And
hurt
then,
him.
yeah,
wouldn't hurt
which
him.
the Travers is 1.25 miles. So that seems to be the big bugaboo.
And look, it's a 3-year-old race again. So if there's nobody else in this crop, how are you going to say that he's not going to win another graded stakes
How's my
race?
guy the Puma? Where's the
I was
Puma?
going to say Neil's guy. If the Puma's in there, I might go the Puma.
Where's
That's
the Puma?
fine. But are you really going to guarantee that he'll never win a graded stakes when he's got another race At this
I'm just
distance
gonna bet him.
against this same crop?
I'm gonna bet him to win. I'm gonna bet him to win every race so he does lose.
Oh man. What is the I'm looking it up right now. What is the Breeders' Cup Classic distance? Mile and a quarter. So it's got two, like, assuming those are its three next rate. Like, honestly, I wouldn't run it in the Jim Dandy. Why?
I
Just
want
run it.
sovereignty. Give me sovereignty in the classic against Golden Tempo, and sovereignty will blow his doors off.
Dude,
Well,
Baeza's good value at 35-1 right now. Baeza loves distance.
I mean, I think aren't they both running this weekend at Churchill in the
Foster
uh
in the Foster.
the
The
Foster? Yeah,
Foster's next. It's not this week. I think it's the following week, right?
I thought it was
I
this
think
weekend.
I thought it was I thought it was the last week. Actually, I think it's the last weekend of June.
I thought it was this. Anyways, sovereignty and Baeza are both in that, so that'll be a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, Saturday, June 27th.
27th. Okay, I thought it
Yeah,
was.
so the last Saturday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
give me
that's gonna be.
sovereignty. Give me sovereignty in the classic, and
Well,
that'll blow Tempo's doors off.
I look, and I had all these questions. We're just running with everything right now.
Mhm.
So one of my questions was gonna be, after saying he would never win a greatest stakes, do you carry that forward? And Matt, are you really saying that you don't think he'll win in a greatest stakes race?
He's on record. He's already on
That
record
is
as
just
saying it.
Yeah, F it. One of these horses is gonna figure it out for the Travers.
okay. And Neil, you're off of that take.
Yeah, I'm off that take. I think he probably does win another one because I think these 3-year-olds are so not as good as we expected them to be. I think he probably wins like either the Travers or the Dandy or the whatever. I think he wins one of those, if not both, because I just don't think that the fields are going to be that good.
All right, and then you get to the classic. And look, this isn't a thing to predict that he's going to win. Is he a contender
No,
to compete for the classic?
no, I'm not
Doesn't
going that
fall.
far.
The pace doesn't fall apart.
Nope, no contender for the classic.
And
I mean, shoot, we want to talk about the classic. The horse that just beat Journalism, Nisos, had a great race. Granted, it was 7 furlongs
well,
on Belmont Day, but Nisos looked really good.
look, here's the thing about the classic. The crop of older horses is really, really good. Like, you're talking Nisos, you're talking Forever Young, you're talking Sovereignty, you're talking White Barrio, you're talking Journalism. Like, if this was a couple years ago, where it was Sierra Leone who was 3 years and won the classic after coming up short in the Triple Crown races, then and it was just a bunch of 3-year-olds going after it, then I would say, yes, you have a chance. But because there are so many older horses that are quality, I don't think this horse has a chance in the classic.
Nope.
It's the combo of their quality and they can run the distance.
Yes.
I mean, you got Forever Young coming back after winning it. It's just like these horses are too damn good.
They're so good. They're so good.
Honestly, again, nothing against Golden Tempo. I don't think Golden Tempo was the most impressive 3-year-old at Belmont on Saturday.
It's
The
another
Englishman,
Cherie
the
DeVoe.
Englishman, and the Woody Stevens 115 buyer matched the track record.
Right.
And now that was a Cherie and Jose connection. That was Cherie and Jose. So they had a really good day on Saturday. But the Englishman had a heck of a race. I think
Well,
it was
and you talk about the what?
it was a couple races before the Belmont.
Yeah, it was the Woody Stevens. And then in the mile, Nisos put up a 109. So it's not like they weren't putting up big figures at Saratoga. They were, and it just didn't have one in the Belmont. The last question that really with Golden Tempo that I wanted to get into that he is the 13th horse to pull the Derby Belmont double in Triple Crown history. We've now seen it in the last 2 years with Golden Tempo and Sovereignty. If Golden Tempo runs the Preakness, which Cherie DeVoe was very adamant saying they made the right decision with this horse, but it's 2 years in a row where we're not witnessing history because the Derby horse doesn't run the Preakness. But also, there's a part of me is kind of happy about it because I think a Triple Crown winner with a mile and a quarter Belmont would have watered it down.
Yeah,
That's
no,
a good
you're
point.
right. I don't know, and I would have liked to have seen him run the Preakness because I think he probably would have won. And we could be talking about a Triple Crown winner, but also we don't know how the horse responds on just 2 weeks. Like he was a fully rested 5 weeks since the Derby. So, he was at his best out at the Belmont. And had he run the Preakness, maybe he was not going to be at his best at the Belmont. And maybe if he ran the Preakness, he wouldn't have been his best in that race either, coming off a 2 week carryover from the Derby. So I don't know how that horse would respond on the 2 weeks. I would have liked to have seen him try because a Triple Crown in horse racing is one of the most exciting things in sports, but maybe he's just not the same if he does that. So Cherie knows the horse better than we do, obviously, and she thought that was what was best for him, and she was right. I still would have liked to seen it, but she might be right.
Yeah. I think most realistic result, I think it wins the Preakness because the Preakness just was a bad field. I
Correct.
don't know if it would have bounced back enough to even win this race at the Belmont.
And I think it's
That would
fair.
have been that's what I think might happen, who knows? But it's hard to say that she did the wrong thing by sitting him out. The horse ran 2 races, won them both.
Now, last year, I think the wrong decision was made because I think Sovereignty is one of the best horses that we've seen in a long time. He would have won the Triple Crown without question. So last year, I think Sovereignty would have handled it and dominated the
Yeah,
ultimate.
because Journalism won the Preakness with a 95 buyer last year,
He
and
Yeah,
almost
but
fell
remember
down
that
when he did
run?
it. He
Remember
about
yeah.
that
fell
run?
down.
Yeah, no, I remember the run. Like, it was a crazy
Like a
run.
95 with all that happening is
I
it's
mean,
pretty
he
good.
fell down, got back up, and still won.
Yeah. But and then he was a close second in the Belmont. So he was like Journalism, I don't think faltered at all through the 3 races. So I feel like Sovereignty could have run it if it wanted to.
Yes.
Here's what Sovereignty, if it is a mile and a half, does he win at the mile and a half? Like that's why if somebody would have won the last 3 years with the Belmont being a mile and a quarter, it puts an asterisk on the whole thing. And even with Golden Tempo, I think would have been even better horse at Belmont with a mile and a half. We've already talked about that. But I don't there's a part of me that's like, yeah, I want to see him run for it. But in hindsight, I'm kind of glad because you don't have a Triple Crown winner that is going to have that asterisk.
And maybe we all know that maybe the reason why a lot of the horses sit out the Preakness is because it wasn't a full Belmont the past few years. But maybe people are thinking that it's too much, it needs more rest. So maybe it kind of stretches out the calendar where we kind of get your May, June, July and have a modern Triple Crown. You can have the distinction of the old Triple Crown and a modern Triple.
Well, and you might see, like you've talked about several times, you might see more horses running the Preakness because they don't want to go a mile and a half. So they might come back in 2 weeks instead of waiting 5 to run another race at a mile and a
Yeah.
quarter. And
Yeah.
look, here's another thing too. I said 13 times in history we've seen the Derby Belmont double. Happened twice in the last 3 years, which means it happened twice when both races were a mile and a quarter. Both races are the same distance, and it makes sense. In the history beyond that, it happened 11 times. The last time it happened prior to 2025 was 1995 with Thunder Gulch.
Were those other times, were those horses that decided to skip the Preakness and win the Belmont, or did they just lose the Preakness and come back and win the Belmont?
I think there's a combination of both.
Oh.
But that's just the 11 horses prior to the last 2 years that have won both races.
No. We had Triple Crown winners in between there.
Like this is just a double.
The double. Okay, I
Double.
got you.
Yeah,
I'm
just a
sorry.
double.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
67 horses have won 2 legs of the Triple Crown in the same season. So that's any combination.
Yeah. Probably the most common combinations, I would assume, is Derby and Preakness because they're
Yes.
closest in length.
I mean, there was a long stretch where we had a ton of horses that won both and then came up short in the Belmont in
Yeah.
the 90s and 2000s.
Yeah, it did happen over and over, I felt like.
Over and over and over again. Yeah.
And I am really excited for this race to get back to a mile and a half next year. it adds another element to this. To it's because it's the test of
It is the
endurance.
test.
That's what the Triple Crown is, and that's why Belmont is the closing leg. And it's been cool being at Saratoga because Saratoga is such a prestigious track that has its big races, but doesn't have a race of this caliber that everybody watches. People watch the Travers, it's not like this, right? Where it's got eyes on it that from people that aren't even real big horse racing fans. So that's been cool, but I'm excited for it to get back to a mile and a half and to see the new Belmont because the what they were showing of it on Saturday, it looks like they've gone above and beyond to redo that track. Anything else before we close out Golden Tempo? I just remember watching it. I'm like, holy shit, this is really happening.
Couldn't believe it happened.
Because, like I said, like just the way that the races were going, I didn't think anybody was coming from the back and winning.
No. I wonder, hey, here again, I'm not saying it's the reason why it won. Was that little bit of rain right before it ran? Did that soften up the track enough?
I
I
was
mean,
really
that's
hoping for Beck Woody was gonna pull that out.
why? Because you could cuss me out.
Yeah, exactly.
I was thinking about it. Believe me, but I was just like, holy! I just posted that thing about Golden Tempo 4 hours ago, and it's about to go bonkers. And it went bonkers. And look
How many
on that
total
video,
comments? How
huh?
many total comments did we get?
Over 500.
Jeez. Oh, Lord.
Uh, over 500. And look on that video, I look as implicit as you guys do. Like, it doesn't look like I'm arguing it that hard. Like, and look, we're three clowns. It's not us. We're three clowns that don't know anything about horse racing on that video.
That is true.
And I mean, I was debating saying that he was going to win a race again, but I didn't think it was going to be the Belmont. So after becoming the first trainer to win the Derby, she becomes the first trainer to win 2 legs in the same year. Pretty impressive stuff. I mean, she had an unbelievable day, and Matt already touched on it a little bit because Englishman was unbelievable. Bob Baffert said, I am running crude velocity against that horse again.
Yeah, how
Nope,
about that? Unless if
never
it's
again.
not 2 turns, I'm not running against this
Nope,
horse.
I'm not touching that horse again. All right, so I think it's enough going in tempo. It is amazing to me though that people think horse racing is kind of dead, and like people talk about it all the time, and the comments that we get when we talk horse racing compared to when we talk other sports, especially on Facebook, is just it's wild. It's wild. And even though we're getting cussed out, I'm glad that people were talking horse racing because we all three love it, and that's what I mean. We
Oh,
just enjoy talking it.
and Golden Tempo, the whole storyline behind Golden Tempo and Cherie being the first female trainer, it's great for horse racing. You know, you bring in a new group of fans, that may not have watched it before, just rooting for Cherie.
Yeah, 100%. And just all pretty cool. Great for the sport. Great for the sport. Looking forward. I think we're gonna have to do full previews for the Dandy and for the Travers and for the Breeders' Cup because it's working and we enjoy it and
And we need to we
get
need to
Neil's
redeem
spreadsheet out.
ourselves. We need to redeem ourselves. Make us
100%.
not look like idiots.
Maybe we'll do it for the Foster.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll do it for the Foster.
Foster's gonna be a heck of a race.
Yeah, I think here in a couple weeks we do this for the Foster.
Golden Tempo will not beat us in the Foster
That's true.
because it's not
Hey,
running.
You will not be.
write it down. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I hope he runs the Dandy though.
That'll be interesting because it's a shorter
I hope he
race.
runs it.
I'd be intrigued.
I
I
just
would
wanna
also
see
love to see the field.
Yeah, I wanna see these horses run as much as we
Give
possibly
me the
can.
Puma. Give me the
Run
Puma.
Well, I don't know if the
Where is
Puma's
he?
ever gonna run again.
No, I looked it up. Paladin doesn't look like it's coming back for the Travers, but the Puma looks like it's coming back for the Travers.
Okay. So skipping the Dandy.
I think so.
We need some Puma.
We need some Puma.
We do. We're gonna have to talk a little bit college football, y'all. And we've talked a lot about the crazy stuff that has gone on with NIL and transfer portal and all this stuff. And now we got Brendan Sorsby trying to go to Texas Tech. Dude got implicated for what? How many 40 wagers involving Indiana while he was a freshman quarterback there? And then has spent over $90,000 betting. And on
including
Monday,
games with his own team was involved.
yes. And then on Monday, he gets granted a temporary injunction against the NCAA by Judge Ken Curry of Lubbock County. And basically, there's going to be an appeal, but the appeal might take too long, might be not even take place before the season's over. So basically, he's eligible.
As of right now, the trial date is set to start February 8th, 2027.
Yeah.
So after the season's over.
Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
But well, all right, so then no, it's complete BS. The whole thing, right? Like some judge in Lubbock decides who's probably a Texas Tech fan /
No,
booster.
there was a Texas Tech fan, and he came off of it. He came off of the ruling. So they got a new judge. And then
who claims that they're not? I mean, come
I
on.
don't know.
Like,
But
I mean, we don't know if they are not.
right,
But
we
he's
don't know.
probably getting some kind of promise from a Texas. Even if he's not, a Texas Tech booster is probably like, hey, I'll throw some money your way when it comes time for your reelection. Make this guy eligible. And what happens? And like, first of all, don't have if you're gonna sue the NCAA, you can't have a judge in the backyard of the team that's on trial or the player that's on trial here or who's in question. That's just wrong. It happened in Alabama with the basketball player, where the judge in Alabama who was a booster granted him eligibility, and then another judge came along later on and squashed that. But send a message to Texas Tech. Like, if he's gonna play, isn't there not a selection committee for the college football playoff? They don't have to vote them in.
Correct.
Don't vote them in. And there's already ADs that are out there that are telling their athletic departments, do not schedule Texas Tech anything. Georgia's done it. Nebraska's done it. The Big Ten is meeting to see maybe for them to come to an agreement to not schedule Texas Tech anything. Send a message to Texas Tech that what they're willingly taking this guy in for what?
Because
For
he's
what?
going
Like,
to be good. He's going to be good. He can win them games.
but that's sending the wrong message.
Well, hell yeah, it is. Is it also sending
voted.
the wrong message to other college athletes?
But they just voted. So when the legislation came up in the NCAA for college athletes and staff and coaches to be able to gamble on professional sports that almost passed in October, it was an hour away from passing, and 75% of member institutions went and rescinded the vote and basically overturned it. Texas Tech was one of those schools. So what are we doing? What's changed? You got one.
Brendan Sorsby was on Cincinnati.
Like it's a sellout move. It's a sellout move. You're compromising the integrity of college athletics for one player. Like, it's not worth it.
Well, I mean, if you asked Joey McGuire last year if Baylor's recruiting this guy, a player that say got caught gambling, and they're trying to bring him in to be their starting quarterback, what's he going to say?
Exactly.
Absolutely not. That's absurd. There's no way.
Exactly.
And like, what are we doing when your college athletes are caught gambling and can get off just by saying, oh, I'm sorry, I'm an addict. I'll go to rehab and apologize. So now every student athlete, and for any sport, they're like, well, if I get caught gambling, there's no repercussions. I can get out of it. So now you're opening the door for this to happen even more places when these things are just so available.
My question is, this happened like 2 schools ago. How is this not caught at IU or Cincinnati? Like, how did it like just come about now?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. But it says that like some of the documents also allege he continued gambling after transferring from Cincinnati to Texas Tech.
Well, I guarantee you he did. I guarantee you he was gambling up until the minute he got caught.
He honestly probably took the under on the Texas Tech win-loss once he got caught.
Maybe. But okay, so if you're I mean, he's not the only athlete or coach or somebody to get caught gambling. So are these athletes going to now sue to get their eligibility reinstated? If you've been ruled ineligible in the past,
there's a precedent.
here you go.
Yeah.
Here's your doorway back.
Dude, and you all know, like, if you're a student athlete or if you're anybody involved with the university, you're not allowed to bet on any sanctioned sports. Any. Like, if you are a college football player, you are not allowed to bet on NBA. You're not allowed to bet on the
emails a
NBA.
year. You get 6 emails a year from our compliance
And
department.
how many times does compliance come to the locker room and talk about this?
Yep.
Every year. Every
And
single
you got
year.
a follow-up
Maybe
email
multiple
this
times a
week.
year.
Follow-up email this week.
Yes.
And you are betting on your own games
that you're playing in
$90,000 worth. And they're just like, it's cool.
Well, no, he gets suspended 2 games against
2 games.
what, Tarleton State and Oregon State or
Lamar.
something?
Abilene Christian and Oregon State. Look, and he's like, he said he never bet on his own team while he was playing, right? Isn't that what he said?
No, because I think he said that he didn't play with Indiana, but he bet on Indiana to feel part of the team.
To feel part of the team.
Was he redshirting or something? He might have, I don't know if he was redshirting or he was hurt.
Yeah, or just knew he was far down the depth chart.
I mean, it's just like you are got inside information. Even if you are a sideline, if you're a reporter for a game and you get inside information, you are not allowed. If you bet on that game, you are fired forever. And you should be.
Yeah.
Like, this is just the most asinine thing. The NCAA has no control over it.
No joke. This time last year, I had a wedding derby weekend in New Jersey. And I had to look up, because Twin Spires was not legal in Jersey. It was derby weekend. I had to go down to compliance and make sure I could sign up for FanDuel Racing and I wouldn't get fired because it showed up on FanDuel.
Right.
Yeah. And you got to be aware of that stuff.
I mean, we criticize, a lot of people criticize the NCAA and their handling of rulings and decisions and all that. There's nothing they're trying to do the right thing here, and they're just not allowed to. They're not allowed to do anything anymore.
Look, and with the NCAA, some of this stuff we can debate some of this stuff, like transfer rules, and we can debate that. This is not something that is up for debate.
No.
Apparently, according to a judge in Lubbock, Texas, it is.
There is,
the Texas Tech
judge and the people at Texas Tech, nobody is on that side of this one. Nobody.
Honestly, again, this would never happen, but what Texas Tech should have done was just said, look, we care about the individual. We can't let him play. We'll honor his scholarship. We'll see him through the year, do whatever. But we cannot have him play for the integrity of the game. But they don't care. They need to win.
They don't care. Why would they do that? Then they don't win games. That don't help them win games, Matt.
I know.
And like I said earlier, if you asked Joe McGuire about this last year, this would be an absolute no-brainer. And now because it's helping his team win, just turn the cheek.
Pete Rose got banned for a lifetime. Banned for a lifetime for doing this kind of thing.
He should be. Pete Rose can't even get in the hall.
But Brennan Sorsby could get suspended for 2 games.
Brennan Sorsby can be ready for the Big 12 opener against whoever.
No, I agree. I agree with what Nebraska and Georgia and kind of what the Big Ten's talking about and what some of these schools are talking about. Just send a message to Texas Tech. If I'm the college football voting committee, if they have 1 loss, you're not sniffing the playoff.
Hell, if they go undefeated, still don't give it to them.
I think by rule, if they win the Big 12, I guess they have to get in.
But yeah, I guess that's true. That's true.
But if they don't win the Big 12, no chance.
It's so hard to even fathom that this is really happening.
Well, actually, you know what, Neil? Technically, even if they win, it is I think it's the highest ranked conference champion. So if they just don't put them in, just don't put them in the poll. Yeah. Never put them in.
They're ineligible for the poll because you have an ineligible quarterback.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have an ineligible
1,000%. That's what they should do. Absolutely should do that.
You want people to get on board with the playoff and get on board with the rankings and the shows every week. Just Keep doing
Yeah.
that and never rank Texas
Like
Tech.
Texas Tech, you wanna win games? That's fine. Go win your games with your ineligible quarterback. Go 12-0, but you're not participating for national champion. You're not having a chance for a national championship with this guy on your team.
Have fun in the Sun Bowl against Washington State.
El Paso is nice that time of year. I've been.
I mean, what is this like his numbers are they're not even that crazy, are they?
I didn't think he was all that good, but he was
He
was
he
he
had a
one of the
I think he
key
had a
runner?
really he had a solid year last year, but before
Yeah,
that, he
he had
wasn't.
27 tutties and 5 picks last year.
Yeah, he was really good last year. Years before that, it wasn't spectacular.
It's just absolute.
I mean, you might even see. I mean, it. The kid's gonna play. You got to watch out for his safety. He's got to watch out for his safety too. I mean, there might be
Yo.
some late hits coming his way, directed
Mhm.
from some of these coaches.
They ain't gonna be happy, and
No,
it's gonna open the door. This is gonna happen again now. That's the thing, is
well,
there's
that's what. This is why you need, and we everybody keeps saying it is Congress needs to get involved, and there is legislation on the table that hopefully can fix some things to where they don't get sued every time that there's a ruling. So if this fixed college sports bill, can get worked out, maybe it solves some of these issues. But until then, you're right. Like the door's wide open. Do whatever you want.
there's no rules, and
Right, like
they
you said, if any other player lost time because of gambling, I'm reaching out to a lawyer and a judge right now, being
100%.
like, "What about him? Why
Yep.
why am I much different than him?"
Yep.
And if I'm a student athlete, I'm not scared to place a bet now. If this dude spent 90 grand, I mean, I ain't gonna spend that much. Well, they gonna spend me for a $20 bet on the NBA finals? Nope. So that stuff's gonna start happening more. You open the door for that. There ain't gonna be many people, I hope not, betting on their own team, but betting in general, people ain't gonna be scared to do it at all. And it's too just it's just on everybody's phone, so everybody can do it.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, I mean, there's the amount. I don't think you can watch a sporting event without seeing gambling, whether in advertisement, in like a commercial, on the court, it's in your face 24/7.
all right. And so last week we were previewing the NBA finals a little bit. And I had told you all that I had bet the Knicks back in February to win the NBA finals.
Uh-huh.
So should I hedge? Didn't hedge before game 1 because it was basically I would bet
Mhm.
100 to win like 80. I didn't hedge before game 2. Let it ride.
Did you
And
do
then
it before game 3?
yesterday I did
So how
place a
much did
hedge.
you bet?
I bet
Wait, how much
$10,
did you bet originally?
10 to win 225. So my hedge yesterday after so I was talking with our buddy Carl trying to figure out the best way to hedge this because
Game
Carl's a
3
big
scared
hedger.
you that much?
Huh?
Game
It
3
didn't
scared you
scare
that
me,
much?
but, like, I had it to where if I bet $25 on the Spurs to win the series, that was gonna pay out 110 bucks. So, like, then you either win 200 or 110. But
Was this before
ultimately,
game 3 or after game 3?
this is before game 3. So,
Really? It was what were the
it was plus
odds?
380.
You should have hedged after game 1 or after game 2, I should say.
That's what I did after game
Oh,
2.
you
This is
said before game 3.
this is
Oh,
before
okay.
game 3.
I thought you said
But
after game 3.
the hedge that I did instead, not for the Spurs to win, I bet the series spread, Spurs one 1.5 games. So basically, if the Spurs lose the series
They have to
by
lose by 1. You
yes,
need
by
game
1
7.
game. So
So you need
basically,
game 7.
if it goes to game 7, I could win both bets. And this is a $40 bet to win 130. So now I'll either win 130 if the Spurs lose by 2 games or more. I'll win 190 if the Knicks win, and then if the Knicks win in game 7, I'll win both bets.
How much did you bet on the 1.5?
$40.
So you got $50 on the table. You could win as much as 370, but could win as little as 140.
Yeah, around those numbers.
All right, you're at worst
I
up
think I
90
played her
bucks. I feel like that's
after
not bad.
My head was spinning yesterday trying to figure this out.
I feel
And
like
I did
you giving yourself something to win, you can it's not one or the other, you could win
right.
both.
Yeah,
And
because not going the Spurs to win, that was a smart move. Because for them to win anyway, you'd have to get to games. They would most
well,
likely have to get to a game 7. I don't
and it,
see
but
them
here's the
winning 4 in a row.
and here's the bad part. Like because I did place a $25 bet on the Spurs to win like $110. And then when I went to cash it out, hoping I would get my $25 back, the cash out option was like already $23. So I lost $2 pulling that bet. But I still think it was the right move.
Yeah, I feel like it's heady.
So the Knicks last night would ended their 13-game winning streak, which is the second longest in NBA postseason history. They had not lost in 46 days, you all.
That's crazy. That's
And that place was bonkers last night. Unbelievable atmosphere. I just in the second quarter, because the first half was very similar to the first and second game,
Mhm.
and the Knicks kind of took control in the second quarter. I think they scored 40 something points in that second quarter. But the Spurs had to win, and you kind of saw that determination to start the second half. And the Knicks offense at times looks incredibly stagnant, and I think a lot of that has to do with the way the Spurs guarded them. Like they took Wemby off of Cat in game 3, which is, to me, you take Wemby off of somebody that should be even more productive, but the Cat was not as productive in game 3. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing goes in game 4 and if the Spurs keep that strategy.
There is a ton of pressure on the New York Knicks right now. Because just all the hoopla, like there was a lot of things involved in game 3. Trump there, everyone there, all that stuff. First time final since 99, blah blah blah. All the pressure is on the Knicks though, because if you don't win game 4, you win both games down in San Antonio and you're going back to San Antonio, it's tied. I mean, sheesh. If the Spurs win game 4, they might win 4 in a row and just end this in 6.
I agree with that. I think all the pressure is on the Knicks right now because you have to win game 4. Because like you said, if you go back to San Antonio and this thing's tied and San Antonio gets that home court advantage back. In San Antonio in game 1, they looked like they were cruising. I mean, they were up 14 in the third. I was
Mhm.
about to put it to bed and said, all right, Spurs up 1-0. And the Knicks came back. The Knicks always, for some reason, just find a way to somehow just keep clawing their way back into games. But the Spurs have been good. The Spurs have been good. They proved that they can win big games against Oklahoma City. They closed that one out on the road in game 7. The Spurs are a good team. They, to my mind, they blew game 1. They blew game 2 with a terrible turnover at the end and the
Mhm.
foul up on Wemby. They were right there to win that, and then they go into the Garden, and win game 3. So the Spurs have been right there, perhaps to even be up 2-1. We're right there to maybe even win all 3. Pressure's on the Knicks. Give me the Spurs in game 4.
I mean, both of
Sam,
y'all were
go
on the
Spurs,
Spurs
go.
to start the series. Like Matt, you said in 5, right? And Neil,
Yeah, that's dead.
did you say
6.
in 6?
I said
Here,
Spurs in 6.
here's my like. Yeah, the Knicks won game 1 and 2, but it wasn't like they played great in either one of those games. You know, they just made plays down the stretch when the Spurs didn't. And Wemby wasn't the Wemby that we saw last night in the first 2 games. But Brunson is shooting 37% on the series. I mean, he's still scoring a lot of points, but he's not shooting it well. And to me, the difference in game 3 was just Karl-Anthony Towns wasn't the same player he was in the first 2 games. I mean, he averaged 19 and 12 and had 4 assists per game in the first 2 and then only had 11 and 8 in game 1. And, like, if Wemby's coming off of you, I feel like you've gotta be more aggressive. And I think they were doubling him a little bit. They didn't double Brunson as much in game 3. They were doubling Brunson more in game 1 and 2. So, I mean, you make adjustments throughout the series, and those adjustments worked for the Spurs. And even when the Knicks made that run late, like, they just got big shots from Castle and De'Aaron Fox, which kinda just
Fuck.
put a halt to their run. So you gotta give the Spurs credit for that.
Which that's what the Spurs didn't do, you know, in game 2. Like, they made the plays down the stretch finally, to put the Knicks away when it looked like perhaps the Knicks were gonna do one of their Houdini acts and pulling out another one when they were down, 7 in the last minute. But Spurs made plays down the stretch. I think they finally can get that monkey off their back that from game 2 that they blew it. They proved to themselves that they can make the winning plays. Go do it again in game 4.
What did y'all think? Did y'all hear Mike Brown's comments after the game? Complaining about the officials?
The free throw discrepancy in what, the 4th quarter or the second half or something?
Second half.
Yeah. There
I
was
never thought I'd
yeah.
be in the NBA finals and see in the second half 24 free throws attempts to another team's 8. And that was
I
after
mean,
giving the credit, which is what you do, but
there
it
was a
was a
missed
really
foul
physical
call
game.
late yesterday, but, yeah, I mean, it's whatever.
It's
Complain
NBA
They
officiating, it's never gonna be good.
I mean, dude, you had that one play where Wemby just who'd he take out and they didn't call anything, and then, like,
Brunson.
2 possessions later, Hart and, who got tangled up with Cantor
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
and
can't yeah, so
kicked him, and he got popped.
he got popped.
And then you got the play in the 4th quarter where Harper's running on the court when the Spurs are trying to figure out if they are gonna challenge, so they bring a sub to the table, and it's like they have 6 players in the court, and the referees didn't know what to do. Like, I don't know, a lot of chaos there, but if you got 6 guys on the court, a lot of times, like, they
Well,
put the ball
did
in
they
play.
blow the horn? Did they whistle him in or not whistle him in? Like, I
They
don't think
put
the
the
guy
ball in
just came
play.
off the bench into the game. He was going to the
They
table.
they put the ball in play and then realized there were 6 guys. And then they just blew it dead and restarted the possession. So, I don't
Yeah,
know. It was chaos.
chaos.
But
It's been a good series. I expect game 4 to be similar.
I said Knicks in 7 to start, but they gotta win this game tomorrow, or I think they lose this series. Like, you can't go to San Antonio, win those 2, and then go back home and lose the next 2, and then expect to regain momentum going to San Antonio.
No.
So, if
Had they split in San Antonio and split in New York, that's one thing.
totally different,
You won both in San Antonio, and you can't go home and lose both.
totally and
Don't worry, the
and
Knicks won the NBA Cup, so it's a foregone conclusion. We don't even really need to play the next couple games because you just said
hey,
the NBA club
dude,
champion's the automatic
We
champion.
got NBA Cup.
you don't
Good
say a lot
good
of
call.
smart things, but thank you for bringing intelligence today. For those that
Those are your
didn't
words.
listen last week, there are some numbers that say that the NBA Cup is a little bit predictive. Predicted the NBA Finals this year, predicted the Thunder after they were in the NBA Cup, they won the thing. So, there are some predictive measures. Not saying it's 100%. So,
You made it seem like it was 100%.
I did not. I was just telling you stats, and you had a lot of Bud Lights, and you just went on one. Don't even need to play the games. We haven't talked a lot of Louisville Kings on here, but I think we have to. After starting the season 0-3, the Kings are playing for the United Cup in DC next Saturday against the DC Defenders. Look, dude, this team's 0-3. They get their first win, and they go 1-3. And after they win their first game, they blow their team up. They send Jason Beam out. They promote Chandler Rogers to starting quarterback. They get rid of Benny Snell. Like, most teams aren't going to adjust after a win. They're going to be like, all right, we're on the right track. You got to give Chris Redmond some props for doing that. And they're playing good football. And went to St. Louis and won a game. Tanner Brown, dude, a kicker that might be the MVP of the damn league. Dude just boots 60 yarders like it's nothing. But have y'all been watching?
Yeah, I had a lot more recently. Yes. A lot more recently. I watched the playoff game the other day. I watched the last game of the season against Columbus and a couple of those games against DC down the stretch where they won both of those late in the season. So yeah, I have been watching. I think Rodgers has been really good. Like you said, with the blowing up of the team with Benny Snell and Bean leaving was the turnaround point. And props to Redmond for
Those
recognizing
weren't the
that.
only changes they made, but they were the most
No, but I mean those were the
impactful.
big ones. Those were big
Yeah.
ones. I mean, your starting quarterback getting traded after game 4 is a pretty big move.
And your
So
biggest name player on the team.
yeah, so props for Redmond of recognizing this isn't working. Let's try something else, and he hit lightning in the bottle, and so the Kings have won what 7 out of 8 now,
They
I
were
believe, with that playoff win.
they were 0-3, and
Yeah, so they're rolling. Like I said, they've beaten DC twice, once on the road, once at home, both late in the season. So I had imagined that they're probably going to be favored in this UFL Cup
On the
championship. It
road
is in
when they're playing.
DC.
Yeah.
It is in DC, but they've won in DC. They beat this team twice, and they beat them twice within the last month. So give me the Kings.
How do we get Matt Paris to buy into the UFL and the Louisville Kings?
I'll watch on Saturday. You said the game's on Saturday?
Mhm.
3 o'clock Saturday.
I'll
Yep.
tune in on Saturday.
And look, I will admittedly say that the fact that I worked a lot of these games got me more invested. But like
It's
if it wasn't
fun.
Louisville, if it wasn't Louisville, I would not be watching. But
Correct.
it's a hometown
Technically, you're
team.
a sponsor. You're getting paid to work these events.
Do what?
You're a sponsor. You're being paid to work
100% I'm
these
getting
events.
paid. I'm not doing that for free. But like, dude, like I worked all but one of the home games, and like Lucky Jackson was like talking to me at the end. Like, when they see you every game, they start recognizing you, and like it's just cool being around them and to see them have success and be cool. Will you buy a T-shirt, Neil, if they win on Saturday?
I'll buy some Kings gear. I'll buy some Kings gear probably going into next season before, even if they don't win the championship. I've enjoyed watching the Kings, and I like what the UFL brings to the table. I love the 4.60-yard field goal. I love that you don't get to punt if you cross the 50-yard line. I like the overtime rules now that they got rid of the stupid penalty, but the shootout, the 3 possession shootout in overtime, fantastic. Not a big fan of the 3-point conversion from the 9-yard line, kind of dumb. I love the onside kick rule where it's a 4th and 12 from your own 29-yard line or whatever that is. Great rule. So a lot of these rules that are in place, and I love that like, you watch it on TV. You're in the huddle, like you hear everything these guys are saying. They're
Well, it's
interviewing
a way for
referees
TV
on
product. Yeah.
sidelines. They're interviewing referees on sidelines of what'd you see when you made that pass interference call. Like this kind of this stuff is awesome. It's stuff that you don't get watching the NFL or college football. That makes it a lot of fun to watch. So if you haven't watched a game, tune into the UFL Championship. 50
And they
cents per at halftime.
and they need to do that stuff because the caliber of football is not as equivalent of the NFL. So they have to do this gimmicky stuff. But when you talk about the overtime that Louisville lost with that stupid rule, that's one of their few losses. Like if they don't lose that game, their record's even better. Maybe they're hosting a home playoff game last weekend. And you talk about the 4-point field goal. They're up 5 with the ball, and they kick a 63-yarder. And
And they
now they're up
had to because they'd already crossed the 50, so they couldn't punt. So you were either going for 4th and I think it was 7 at the time from the 45 or whatever they were at, or kick the 63-yarder. And when you got Tanner Brown, that's
back.
automatic.
That dude is going to be in the league because
He will
that
be
dude
starting kicker for
is a
somebody next
stud.
year.
He is a stud, and that's what this league is about.
He will have his pick come Sunday, the day after this championship. His agent's going to be on the phone. His phone's going to be ringing off the hook to get this guy into a camp immediately.
100%. 100%. There will be several teams trying to get his services.
Yes.
Could be the MVP of this team
I think
as a kicker.
He's won games because of these 4-point, like the field goal the other day basically won the game. Because you miss it, the Battlehawks get the ball on the Kings 45 and he only needs a touchdown. So no,
What?
it's fun.
And Chris Redmond, your boy, your favorite player of all time. You got his autograph when you were a kid.
Oh, it's on my shelf over here right now, actually.
You'll remember that forever. And now
Here, wait, I got
trying
something for you. Hold on, wait.
But now he's trying to bring Neil another memory of Louisville Kings championship.
1999.
That's tight. That's tight.
Me as a kid. 1999. I got the Redmond jersey on and everything.
Nice bowl cut, butt cut you got going on there.
Yeah, it was just long hair. It's not a bowl cut, just long. But that's my boy.
Oh, so go Kings. Are we gonna make the trip? I wish it wasn't 10 hours.
Tickets are cheap. It's only like $20, right? $25
Yeah.
getting the UFL bowl.
If it was like a 4-hour drive, I would do it.
You get 50 cent. How you get a 50 cent concert at halftime?
I would 50 cent?
50 cents the halftime show. Yeah.
Let's go, dude.
We in the club.
Let's do it. I mean, we can look at flights. They're gonna be expensive.
Yeah.
NHL's been crazy. Like There's
It's
just so much.
3-3 at the end of the second.
Yeah, the Knights have tied the game with 2 goals late in the third or late in the second, so we go 3-3. 2 overtime, a double overtime game, a single overtime game, and a one goal game in game 1. So this series has been tight. It's been entertaining. If you didn't watch game 3 when the Knights were up 4-0 in the fourth and Carolina scores 3 goals in 36 seconds and another one late to score 4 in the third and send this thing into overtime, like, it was wild.
And lose because a shot went off the backboards and then off of
Off the
the
goalie's
goalie's
foot.
back.
Yeah.
Like,
And then the tying goal, like, dude gets shoved into the net. Like, it was a crazy game. They scored 3 goals in, what, 30 something seconds when they were down 4-0. And look, I know we miss Doc Emmerich on the call because he is the GOAT, but Sean McDonough's pretty damn good.
He's very good. He's very good.
Mhm.
And Sean McDonough has been doing this since I was a kid. Like, I remember him doing Braves playoff games in the early 90s. Like, this dude has been doing it for a long time.
Yeah. I'm
And
pretty sure he did Red Sox games. Like, I think he started with the Red Sox before he
Yeah.
went national. I think.
I mean,
But
if you can do play-by-play for hockey, you can do play-by-play for any sport. Hockey is incredibly hard to do with as much action that goes on and line changes in the middle of the act. Like, how you keep up with all of it is insane.
yeah, I mean, like, I tried to learn hockey this year because I watched more games than I ever did because I became a kind of Tampa Bay fan, and they choked after that. And I'm gonna try to continue it, but I still got a lot of rules to learn. But we're efforting, and I've enjoyed. Like, I'm watching all of the Stanley Cup. So, I guess we need to talk a little World Cup. Matt, in addition to being our third leg of our horse racing coverage,
Mhm.
I'm also calling you our soccer expert because
Love it.
Neil, I don't think either you or I would classify ourselves as soccer experts,
Zero knowledge.
but the US is hosting the World Cup for the first time since '94. That was really big because MLS started like 2 years later, so it was really big in getting the MLS started. Do you like it's the host cities are Atlanta, Boston, Dallas, Houston, Kansas City, Los Angeles, Miami, New York, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Seattle, Toronto, Vancouver, Guadalajara, Mexico City, and Monterrey. Like, wild, wild. And for the first time, there are 48 teams, man.
Yep. Normally there are 32, and you've got your group stages, groups of 4, and the top 2 make it out. This year, it's different. Your top 2 make it out of every group, but you also have a plethora of third place finishers to make it out. I haven't dove in to see whether it's goal differential, this, that, the other, but you have more teams advancing because normally you go from group stage to the knockout round, which is normally 16 teams. You have a round of 32, and then you have a round of 16.
So 32 starts the knockout.
Yeah. So you have 2 rounds of knockout instead of 1 round of knockout. So the US,
There's no buys for like first place finishers.
nope. Nope. Um, it depends. There are the earlier groups. I don't know if there's a rhyme or reason for this. The earlier groups, like if you finish in you win Group A, Group B, Group C, Group D, you're going to play a third place finisher. But on the farther end groups, if you win your group, you're playing a second place finisher. I'm guessing just the way the numbers work out, it's not an even switch.
That's not
So you
fair.
got your USA jersey on over there. Give us a rundown. Give us a preview of this USA team. Like, are we gonna be any good?
Well, that's the tricky question here. If this was supposed to be the golden generation of US soccer. 4 years ago, they're in Qatar. Obviously, it was a weird time for the World Cup. It was in the fall. Neil, you and I were in the Bahamas when they were playing because we were down for we were down for the battle for Atlantis, and it just felt weird having World Cup going on while women's basketball's
We
being
were playing
played.
Wales, I think, when we were down in the Bahamas.
Yep, it was the opening game against Wales,
Yeah,
and we had to go and watch in the sports book because it wasn't on anywhere else.
that's right.
I tried to get on YouTube TV. Turns out YouTube TV doesn't work internationally. But no, this group, the best players in this group are in their prime. They've been playing in Europe for years. Pulisic's been playing in Italy. Weston McKennie's been playing in Italy. Tyler Adams has been playing in the Premier League. You have all these players that are in the prime of their careers playing European soccer that people know, and this should be the best team that they have talent-wise. But up until 2 weeks ago, they had not been performing in friendlies. Now, part of the World Cup is if you're the host, you advance already. You don't have to worry about qualifying. So you're just playing friendlies that really don't mean anything rather than having to qualify to get to the World Cup. That's also part of the reason why the World Cup expanded, because there are 3 hosts. You have Canada, Mexico, and the US. Had it been the old school way, that would have been like 3 of the 4 CONCACAF qualifiers. There would only been 1 other qualifier from the whole CONCACAF region. So with 3 hosts, you kind of had to expand the tournament. But they just hadn't been playing well. But they had a game against friendly against Senegal 2 weekends ago down in Charlotte. Went up 2-0, gave up 2 goals, scored the winner, won 3-2. Just played Germany this past weekend, gave up a goal in the 2nd minute of the game. Had a screamer from Robinson before the end of the first half. Honestly, outplayed them for good parts of the first half. And then, trying different subs, getting people in and out in the second half. Gave up a goal, lost 2-1, but played really well against Germany. I think the progress is stepping up for them heading into the opener Friday night.
So who we got in? Was it Paraguay Friday?
So Friday night, 9:00, we face Paraguay, another CONCACAF team. They're in their first World Cup since 2010. So they
Okay.
haven't been in the World Cup in a while. Then we've got Australia the following Friday at 3 p.m. And then we close out with Turkey on the following Thursday at 10 p.m. Top 2 teams advance, and you have to be one of the top 3rd place finishers to make it into the round of 32.
So in your
Are
opinion, are we winning this? Are we going to win this pool?
I think it's gonna come down to the last match day. I think us and Turkey are the top 2 teams. I think right now, if you go to whatever the lines are, I think we're favored to win our group, but not by much.
we calling Turkey now?
Turkey is the approved pronunciation as of a couple of years ago.
Turkiye.
So,
Turkey.
according to the books, it looks like USA is the 12th betting choice to win it all
Okay.
at plus 6,000. Do you do you think that sounds about right? You
I
taking that?
think that is generous considering how we've been playing leading up to these 2 friendlies. There was a lot of all right, so the scuttlebutt is our old coach who came back, Greg Berhalter, had 2 different stints with the team. None of them worked. One of our best players, Gio Reyna, who's Claudio Reyna's kid, had a falling out. They never really went together. Reyna was one of the promising wonder kids, and he kind of stumbled in his career for this, that, the other. He's on this team, but he hasn't progressed as well as he did. So they hired Mauricio Poncetto. I'm probably screwing out the pronunciation. The drama with him is he hasn't really seemed invested, hasn't really seemed involved, and then, really in with this team, and then, a week ago, it was announced that he's getting a job with AC Milan after this. So he basically just used us to get another job. But, again, the past 2 friendlies against World Cup competition, we've looked really good. So maybe it's just one of those cases where these guys are, game time players, and when you're playing when the game shows up, we're not talking about practice, we're talking about a game. They're gonna
All right.
show up.
Okay, yeah. So in our group, like I said, we're plus 6,000. Turkey A is 9,000. Uh, Paraguay is 30,000, and Australia is 60,000. So for that, we're heavily the favorite to win. So in the
The
finals in New
interesting
York,
well, technically, it's in the Meadowlands, so it's in New Jersey, but yes. The interesting thing is, though, if we might be better off, um, coming in 2nd place in our division, because just basically the way it breaks out is we would play, Iran in the round of 32, and then most likely the winner of Group B, which would be Canada. If you flip it the other way, if we win our group, we play, a 3rd place team, but then we might have to play Belgium. So,
Oof.
ironically, we might
and
be better off
we
in
always lose to
2nd.
Belgium. So
Yeah,
Oh,
always.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Always lose to Belgium. But I don't know, you never know with soccer, you never know where teams are gonna finish. But there is a case to be made that the path, if everything kinda plays out together, works in our favor if we come in second rather than first. So it'd be interesting that if you come into that last match day against Turkey, we might know that we're gonna finish first or second. Like, if we win our 2 matches, Turkey wins their 2 matches, we're gonna be 1 and 2. If the path is easier, it'll be interesting to see how they handle that game if they know they're gonna advance.
Yeah. And have you all seen the commercial where it's basically acting it out as if the USA wins the thing? And they're kinda playing off of the 1980 Miracle on Ice. This is kind of the miracle on the soccer field.
I mean, I'd
And
argue this might be more of a miracle than the 18 hockey. Like, no joke. I think,
yeah,
like, 1980 Miracle, that team, that Soviet Union team was elite. The problem in, like, the World Cup is you need to beat, like, 3 of those elite
sure.
teams to
Yeah.
win. So, we'll
Who
see.
are you picking to win the whole thing?
I think Spain are the favorites, but I'm gonna go with France. I think France is gonna have a good showing, and
They're right
if
there
I had to
together.
pick a winner right now, I'd go France.
They're right there together. But I'm excited to watch it. Like, I don't have a soccer team throughout the year, so it's just like hockey before I became a Lightning fan or tried to become a Lightning fan. Like, I enjoy watching Olympic hockey because I get to watch pull for the USA. Like, World Cups is kind of the same way. Like, when you've got somebody to pull for, it makes it fun. And I mean, Neil, you're excited too, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like the only time I watch soccer is World Cup. So yeah, we'll be tuned in on Friday night at 9 o'clock, probably at the local Beer Nose or the Brownies, and we'll get the USA gear on and cheer these boys on for hopefully a deep run.
Before we get into this quick little what would Joe do, I do want the Bengals restructured Joe Burrow's contract to make a little room salary cap wise, and I just want to say I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for jumping into the 21st century and doing things that other teams do because this is stuff that the Bengals don't normally do, and I'm just I'm proud of you for doing something that you should have done.
We got no,
Nothing, you got nothing.
don't care.
AJ
I'm not
Brown's
giving
still a
them credit
Patriot
for
now.
them. I'm not giving them praise for doing something they should do.
Well, when they don't do stuff normally, like you don't have to praise them, but at least say I'm proud of you.
That's like your kid, like, not saying thank you to somebody when they give them something, and then, like, the one time they do, be like, "Great job, buddy." Like, no, like, you're supposed to do that.
I agree, but
You don't get praise for doing the common sense normal thing.
you shouldn't. But they're doing the common sense normal things that they haven't done in the past. So, and they're putting together a team that should be pretty good next year, and I'm excited. Let's hope. What would Joe do? I altered this one a little bit. So, and Matt, you can play. We're we're going to number 3 at ULGC, 150-yard par 3 over the water. You get 3 shots to hit the green. If you hit it once, you get $5 million. If you miss, you spend 1 year in jail. What are you doing?
You're going only 5,000,000.
Yeah, 10 million is too easy. And maybe even 5 million is too high.
I didn't think 10,000,000 was easy. I was probably not taking the gamble on that one.
I think 10 million was too easy. You get 3 chances.
That's a hard hole, man. Even if you hit the green, it slopes off to the right toward the cliff where then it goes down into the water because the water runs all the way upside the right side of the green. It's windy as hell. The wind out there pushes the ball toward the water. Like, you know how windy it is. And it's an elevated you're elevated above the green a little bit. It's not an
What are
easy
you
thing to do. I think
what are
out
you
of 3
doing?
shots, I might get 1 out of every 5 on, but 1 out of 3, I'm not taking the gamble.
You're stepping aside.
Yeah. You're in jail. Like, ugh.
Matt, what do you
My
got?
golf game's terrible, I'm
With the
not taking the
creatures that
gamble.
are yeah, with the creatures that are running around metro
Here,
corrections and no, thank
like,
you.
$5 million is absolutely life-changing.
Yeah.
And if you've given me the opportunity when I hit the green the last shot I took on this hole, that doesn't guarantee that I can do it again. I admit that. But the last time I played this hole, I put it to 15 feet. I'm taking that chance. Give me like if I don't do it, I, I'll suffer through 1 year of jail. 1 year. I'll be out in 1 year. If I make that happen, that $5 million is absolutely life changing. The hardest thing to do is to build wealth in the beginning. When you've got the 5 million, you can do so much more with it, and then making money becomes so much easier. If I've got an opportunity to make 5 milli by just doing something I've already done before, and I get 3 chances to do it instead of one, let's go. And if I don't get it, then lock me up. But I'm getting out of here.
Like, you ain't get like, just spending time alone in your cell by yourself, and they're just feeding you chicken nuggets and cheeseburgers, my guy. You're getting some, like, sloppy porridge, and you're in a confinement with about 50 other dudes that are all licking their chops when you walk in
That's probably true.
for a year. A year. It ain't like it's a month. Like, a month, I hear you, but a year.
It's
So not only do you not get $5 million, you gotta go to jail and spend the night for 365 days with 50 guys that are looking to probably beat you up.
well, I mean, I'm gonna try my best to make friends because that's all I got. But $5 million. Like
Make it
originally it was
listen,
10. Would you do it for 10?
no.
I just thought it was too easy for 10.
I'm not doing it for 10 either. Nope. Because it's exactly what Neil said. I could probably hit the green, but with my luck, it would roll off.
You get 3 chances.
You guys have seen me play golf. I almost ruined a woman's porch on the second hole of a goddamn round we played.
That's true. Glen Oaks #2. I was there to witness that one. Yeah.
Look, and they're waiting, I'm guessing, on the tee box. And if you don't do it, they're cuffing you and they're taking you right away. So it's real. But on the other side, there's a wheelbarrow full of a lot of money. And dude, I'll sacrifice a year of my life to take a chance to get 5 million.
That's a tough year, my guy.
And nobody said it's gonna be it ain't gonna be easy. But hopefully I put it on the green. And look, I'll be nervous as hell, so it's gonna make the shot harder. I'm very aware of that.
All right, next time we go play ULGC, I'm gonna give you 3 shots, and the pressure ain't gonna be nearly as great. Like, I'm
No,
not
it's
gonna
not. You can't replicate
like,
that.
they're gonna be, but I just wanna see if you can do it without the pressure.
You talking number 3 at ULGC?
Yeah. So, we'll try to get out there later this month, and I'll give you 3 shots and see if you can do it.
Yeah, I'm down for that because, of course, I will do that.
And we can record it.
Okay. We need to do that more anyways. I've talked about like, the problem with the height differential is that you can't see the height differential on the pod. Like, we all look the same height on the pod, but on the golf course, there is a clear and obvious height differential. And that's why I posted the picture of us at the Oaks in the suite because
Yeah.
and it's our freaking logo too. Like, you can tell you're a lot taller than me. But no, I'm down for that. We all need to get out of ULGC or get out somewhere and play some golf. And we gotta get the, Popses out, the double Bruces for Father's Day
Yeah.
at ULGC.
Yeah.
So how was vacay before we get out of here?
That was great. It's great, man. Weather was perfect, not a drop of rain the entire 5, 6 days we were there. Uh, I'm a big beach guy. Love the beach. I had several Coors Lights, couple buckets of some rum punch, some pina coladas. The kids loved it. They did boogie boarding for the first time. So took them out in the ocean. They did some boogie boarding. That was fun. Went deep sea fishing. Father-in-law caught a shark.
Oh, we keep
So,
it?
I mean, I was the overall out of the 4 of us that went. I was the overall winner of fish caught with 6, but they were all little. They were sea bass, no bigger than about
Well,
12
isn't
inches.
that the weight of the fish that wins you the competition, not the number?
It was both. We did one. We did, going into it we didn't expect somebody to catch a shark, but
You keep the shark.
Yeah, it was his to keep, but we didn't keep it because we weren't gonna do anything with it. Like, we weren't driving it home, we weren't gonna fillet it ourselves. So we gave it to somebody else that was on the boat with us that was gonna go get it, chopped up and made into some shark bites that they could go home and cook for dinner. So, we did have the pictures, we took the pictures with the shark, and that was about it. But no, it was a good time.
Good deal. And Matt, did you have Italian last night?
Yeah. I ironically, after giving Grassa Grama the shout out, I got a phone call from them on Sunday or Saturday or whatever it was. They raised the price of their meal deal.
Oh,
It's now $27.
they called you?
Yeah.
That's at
Wait,
least
why did
good.
they call you?
Well, I guess because we made the reservation through OpenTable, and on OpenTable it says it's like a $22 meal deal, so they're probably just trying to cover their ass. But I mean, it's still worth it. It's
Yeah,
it's a great deal.
there you go.
Have you
Drove
been
by
up?
the Craft House Pizza though, Neil, your Craft House, and just shook my head.
I think he's done with that place.
So good, though.
He'll be back. He's gonna go
Really.
back. He's gonna go back.
I'm not no, it'll be a while. It'll be a
You
while.
need
Have
to
you
go back and just check the sign to see if they added the little asterisk at the bottom.
Probably did.
have you been over to camp at all this week, Matt?
No.
Yeah. I might go over there because I got 2 nieces that are playing in it, so I might go over there on Thursday. Louisville women's basketball camps this week, so it's that's their favorite week of the year. They love it. They called me last night tonight because they gotta borrow jerseys for tomorrow. Tomorrow's jersey day.
Nice.
So I they couldn't pick, so I gave them a Michael Jordan, a Muggsy Bogues, a Vince Carter Raptors, and a Donovan Mitchell Jazz. So they got
Nice.
like
That's perfect.
alright, fellas. Well, I think we owned the fact that we were very wrong about Golden Tempo, and Matt still doesn't think he's gonna win another race
No.
after all that.
We'll talk when we get closer to the Travers.
Well, what if he runs a Dandy, we might have to talk a little sooner than the Travers. But you're definitely not picking the Dandy because it's shorter.
Correct. Yeah, it's a mile and an eighth, so maybe it'll help these other crop of 3-year-olds that apparently can't run a mile and a quarter.
Bums.
I
Bunch of bums.
I think that's what we've learned, y'all. But before we get out of here, make sure to subscribe to the High Differential wherever you listen to pods, rate it, and leave a review. You can also follow us on social at Height Differential. Appreciate everybody who got on social media and commented on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram throughout the week. Most of them were pointed negatively towards the 3 of us, but we still appreciate it. Hey, any publicity is good publicity, right? And you can't be scared to have takes because then what are you? But
Then what are you?
huh?
Said you're right. Then what are you?
Yeah. So, but we thank Matt for joining us again as we broke down another horse. He's been on the show he's like a regular member now. But for the 5-6 Matt, the 6-6 Neil, I'm the 410 Nick. We'll be back next week. You've been listening to High Differential. Yeah.
Give it to me.
We had some live comments. We had some comments in the chat.
Did we really?
Yeah.
Where were they?
Look on the right-hand side.
Oh shit. Who are they?
I don't know.
What?
Garrett, how did they get on here? I didn't even know we were live. Hold on. I didn't even know we were live. Were we live? I didn't do it on purpose.
I guess we were. People are watching us.
Oh, we're still on, so.
Garrett, Joe, and
Joe
Jesse.
Ziegler. Joe Ziegler's on there.
Yeah, we've been live the whole time.